Alright everybody, we've got a 3-on-3 with Scottagorn, Pcap, and Jack on the top, and Skippy, Matthew, and Neo. It's Team 1 on the bottom. Scott is starting to get his base built here, also sending a dozer immediately to the border for doing some competition, as is Neo. Matthew getting his supply depot going and sending a dozer as well for initial border defenses, same as Pcap. Pcap also getting his supply depot going. Brian, a little bit slow on his supplies, but looks like he's going for that second supply depot as well. Neo already got 2 supply centers going. Jack, maybe it's just the replay, but kind of slow on getting all of his buildings going. There he goes. He's got some things going, starting to build some barracks, and maybe he's doing some exploration there. But looks like Scott is coming up from the north and going after Neo in his initial building. Neo was trying to build a tunnel network there, but looks like Scott was able to finish him off, as well as finishing up that tunnel network. Matthew and Pcap having a little bit of a competition. Matthew was able to get a jump with the tunnel, the laser defense, and Pcap had to back up in order to do his fire base. He'll be able to finish that though. And as well as on the far right, we again have laser turrets versus fire bases. Matthew, though, only with 1 supply Chinook, going after the supplies in the far bottom right. That may hurt him here in the future. Scott, quite the incursion into Neo's base, but it looks like Neo's pulling out a Gatling cannon, which is going to make short work of those infantry. We're already starting to see drones get posted over the opponent's sides. Matthew and Pcap both have survey drones for watching out for their opponents. And we just have a competition now for the center. Matthew still only with 1 supply Chinook. Not doing so hot on the supplies. He may have overspent. He does have a center barracks, built a couple of missile defenders, but he is out of power. Oh, there he goes. He's able to get it back up now. Pcap building his Patriot missile defense and starting to build a war factory up near the front. Pcap does have 2 supply Chinooks though. That'll be helpful in the future. Scott already with 2 supply centers. And Pcap, I didn't realize he had his second supply center going as well. So for supplies, it looks like Scott and Pcap both have 2 supply centers going, each with 2 Chinooks, except for 1 for Scottagorn. It's only got 1 Chinook right now. Jack's got a reasonable supply depot going, or supply stash going for his GLA, but only 1. Starting to build his front lines as well. Matthew, 1 Chinook, 1 supply center. Neo with 2 supply stashes, and Skippy with 2 supply stashes with 2 Chinooks. So, just on a resources side, this is starting to stack up well for the top team for Scott, Pcap, and Jack.
Search and destroy.
I just heard search and destroy coming from one of the components, which was Scottagorn. And it looks like Pcap also just finished building his strategy center. Significant progress more than the bottom. Matthew bringing his dozer over for another second supply center, but it doesn't have the resources it looks like to be able to build it yet. In the meantime, Pcap starting to bring an Avenger out for some missile defenses, as well as getting his second
Search
Patriot
and
missile
destroy.
on the right. Pcap also going for the search and destroy strategy. Scottagorn also got his second Chinook on that supply center. And Skippy is getting a little bit of a jump on Jack with the range of his fire bases. They'll be able to reach the GLA, both tunnel networks and stingers, further range than those will be able to have. And now it looks like Scottagorn is going to start building up his forces for his border with Neo. As well as Neo. Neo is also beginning to develop a healthy defense for stinger sites, as well as 2 tunnel networks, and excellent missile defenders and quad cannons. Looks like he's also starting to bring in some V2 rocket, or sorry, not V2 rockets, Scud launchers. We'll see if he'll be able to get any hits on those fire bases with that. Although with 2 Avengers, 1 per fire base, I doubt it. Matthews looks like he just made a quick incursion into Pcap's space, but he turned around when he saw all those missile defenders. Oh, and Pcap has already built 2 Aurora bombers. That's going to spell trouble for Matthew's front line. Matthew's starting to build some laser defenses to try and counter those, as well as his missile defender. I just don't think he's got the resources to be able to handle it. He was able to build that supply center. He's got 1 Chinook that's starting to go for that central supply depot. And there come the 2 Auroras again. Can't touch them. This is going to be bad. Matthew building another laser defense turret. And a second laser defense turret that he's bringing. Where's his dozer going to be coming from? Let's see. He's bringing it from the second supply center. That'll take a while for him to get up there. In the meantime, Pcap starting to bring his Aurora bomber down and going after the supply depot. The supply center, excuse me. And going after Matthew's strategy center. No advanced units for Matthew if he's able to blow that up. Matthew is able to bring in 1 laser defense turret online, while Scottagorn continues to build up his front line, a few more units. And it looks like the Scud launcher got destroyed. Here comes another Aurora bomber. Untouched by the laser defense turret, still going after that supply center. Oh, almost killed it. But that Aurora is going to die on the way back. Oh, and he lucks out. Although the missile defenders still make short work of the Aurora. Matthew's power just goes out, but the missile defenders take care of both of those Aurora bombers. Neo with a couple of rocket buggies to go after long range. He'll need at least 2 in order to get past that Avenger. And the fire bases make short work of those rocket buggies. Pcap starting to build up a little bit of a land force here. He's developing those paladins. Excellent point defenses, not as good as those in Avenger, but quite effective for 1v2v missile attacks. And Pcap also has 1 Aurora already and building a second. Matthew building his laser defenses, still only with that single Chinook on the second supply depot. Pcap, though, he has 3 supply drop zones already completed, with drop zones coming in every 2 minutes, and building a 4. Pcap also with the second airfield. Brian, it looks like, is doing some attacks off of Jack. Jack with some rocket buggies to try and answer those. The Stinger sights, though, making general short work of the Tomahawk missiles that are being sent by Skippy. And also taking care of Paladin tanks. That looks like a virtual stalemate right now. Joe and Scottagorn, also a relative stalemate, while Scottagorn continues to make some a buildup of land forces, but the battle right now is mostly between Matthew and Pcap. Pcap starting to also build Tomahawk missiles, but those are being taken care of by the laser defense system. Matthew continuing with his laser defense turret fence. Here comes Pcap with another set of Aurora bombers. 2 Aurora bombers to take out any defenses. You gotta have multiple defenses in order for those to be able to counteract the Auroras after they've dropped their payload. Pcap just lost his Colonel Burton against a bunch of Rangers. Those Tomahawk missiles, though, are going to be able to finish off the Rangers that are going after them. Matthew still has his strategy center, still has all of his supply drops, and was able to build an airport. I don't see any hangars open, so he's not been able to build any airplanes yet. And his second Aurora will survive that laser counterattack. Pcap coming in with the A-10 attack, taking out some of those front attack defenses, and Scottagorn continues to build up his land army. And would you look at all those supply drop depots? 8 supply drops. That is more than anybody else in the game has right now. Pcap, though, coming in with 4 and building his 5th. Pcap also had 2 Auroras, and now he's got an additional pair of them. Comes in, takes out 1 laser defense turret, and then they get distracted by the supply drop C-130s. Here comes Pcap with another round of Aurora bombers. Looks like he's going to be going after some more defenses. Neo coming in with a couple of missiles, but not able to make any damage against that Avenger. Scottagorn also using his line of Tomahawk missiles to go after the tunnel network. Looks like he needs an Avenger. Brian should be able to supply that for him. Neo is also coming up on the side with a whole land attack force of his own. This is going to be a big push up against Pcap. He's only got 2 Paladins, a Tomahawk, and a couple of missile defenders. He'll need something to respond. See if he calls for help. Not yet. And there we go. Scottagorn is coming into the rescue with a number of Humvees. Pcap also bringing in a whole bunch of Auroras to help counteract that force. So now we have Scottagorn with a whole fleet of Humvees that are coming after the land force that Neo sent in order to help out Matthew. Neo also has that Scottagorn. May be able to take out a couple of Humvees with that. And wasn't able to get it off. Matthew bringing in a laser defense tank. Pcap also taking out that laser defense tank. Now it looks like Scottagorn going after some power, some reactors of Matthews. Not going after the laser defense turrets. Matthews trying to build a laser defense fence right there. Instead, Scottagorn's going to go after some oil derricks, while Pcap takes out the laser defense turrets with his Auroras. Skippy was able to send in an Avenger to help out with some of those tomahawks that Scottagorn's been haranguing Neo with. And Scottagorn was able to get a number of Humvees in, but not before Matthew was able to get an Aurora Bomber in to take out part of his 4th fleet. Matthew also with those missile defenders making short work of those Humvees. But those Humvees are going to be able to direct their fire on the missile defenders and not be able to... The missile defender's not going to be able to counteract that. Here comes Matthew with the Aurora Bomber some more, took out a pilot. Matthew's got 2 Aurora Bombers, but those Humvees are going to push right past Neo's defenses and come around the side and take out Matthew's base. Matthew's going to need to do something drastic. Even so, Pcap with his particle cannon was able to take out that front defense line. And Matthew takes out 3 Humvees with his Aurora. Now we'll see what kind of damage Scottagorn makes with his 4 Humvees. Matthew also shifting to his attack posture, attack mode. And Pcap also bringing in the airport. That's it for Matthew's Aurora Bombers as well as his strategy center. This is not looking good for Matthew. Scottagorn taking out Matthew's supply chinook. I see 3 supply drop centers for Matthew, which look like they're going to be taken out very quickly. Neo, with small attack force, is coming to come assist against Scottagorn. And Matthew is also looks like he's sending a dozer out to try and rebuild a base at a different location. And Neo's attack force was able to finish off the rest of Scottagorn's Humvees, but not before Scottagorn was able to take care of most of those supply drop centers. Pcap also coming in with multiple Auroras. There's only token defenses right now to be able to resist them. A couple of pilots that are off on the side. Skippy with his 2 Avengers making short work of all the Tomahawk missiles that are being sent by Scottagorn. And Pcap using his Auroras to devastating effect to take out Matthew's command center. Matthew's starting to build a war factory, maintaining his buildings. If they're able to finish off every single one of his main buildings and not defenses, that'll be the it for Matthew. Half the health of the Matthew Supply Center gone, as well as almost half the health of the command center. Now it looks like Scottagorn and Pcap have a joint force that's coming in on the land side. Pcap also coming in with his Auroras to go after various buildings. Matthew still has 1, 2 construction dozers left. Pcap also coming in with his Auroras to try and finish off that command center. And Scottagorn with his land Humvees are making short work of the defenses that he has got set up. Pcap also has got a small land force that he may be able to use in order to help out. But those Auroras continuing to just nail Matthew over and over. Matthew starting to build a couple of laser tanks. These Humvees built with missile defenders, making short work of a lot of the land attack craft. But Skippy now coming in with a couple of Auroras to assist. Pcap bringing his land attack force in. That'll make short work of these Gatling cannons and laser tanks. And Pcap's Auroras continuing to come in after the command center, and there it goes. Matthew just has a power plant, a war factory, and a supply center left. He's going to need to continue building, and he definitely needs some supplies. Pcap looks like he's got his Auroras on guard going after those initial men. And Skippy bringing in his Auroras in order to guard the area. Neo bringing in his Gatling cannon. Still not too much going on between Jack and Skippy. And essential stalemate between all of the land forces going on between Neo and Scottagorn at their main border. But Scottagorn bringing in another large force of Humvees in from the far right. Flanking attack. Matthew has got 3 tanks, and Neo has got a number of Gatling cannons. And it also looks like Matthew has brought his construction dozer into the center of Neo's base with a single reactor. And there goes Matthew's war factory. Pcap also bringing in his A-10s in order to go after various parts of Matthew's base, and Scottagorn working over the land forces. Scottagorn going after Matthew's supply center, and Matthew has his power reactor built. Matthew, only with 2 buildings left, keeping him alive. Shortly will be only 1. Looks like Skippy is bringing in a little bit of a land force here to maybe make an incursion into Jack's land. Jack's able to, he's gotten a number of his black markets. He's got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, making reasonable supplies. But Scott's land attack force, that thing is crazy. It's continuing to make inroads into Neo's base while coming in from the side with Pcap. Matthew, he's got a number of Rangers and a couple of laser tanks, and his final supply center. Pcap with those 2 Auroras going after Matthew's supply center. There it goes. It looks like they don't realize that Matthew has a reactor in the center of Neo's base. As Galadriel said, the One Ring, they have but to reach out and take it, and Matthew could be finished. 1 Aurora bomber on 1 reactor, and that would be it. Matthew, 1 laser tank. Doesn't appear that Matthew has any other units other than that Ranger and laser tank. And here comes Scottagorn. Maybe it for Matthew's forces. Oh, but they've been distracted by the land attack force on Neo's side, coming in from the left. And now Pcap's forces going after all the defenses as well as the Aurora bombers, trying to keep them from continuing to rebuild. There's Scottagorn. There's Matthew's laser tank, making a little bit of a damage inside of the Humvees. And that is it for Matthew's tanks. Got 1 Ranger left. Pcap coming in from the side. Whole bunch of elite missile defenders. Matthew bringing his laser tank into the safety of Neo's base, while Scottagorn's Humvees is starting to make short work of the supply stashes and the black markets of Neo's. That's gonna hurt. Matthew also with a single Chinook. I think Matthew has no more money left. His rest of his game is going to just be about trying to cause as much havoc as he can with that 1 laser tank. He's just hiding out in the middle of the bases, and he's going to go see if he can come back and make some more damage. Scottagorn coming in with his Humvees, continuing to damage all those black markets. Matthew came in and almost lost his tank, but not quite. Not before he was able to get away and go for another repair. Looks like he's getting repaired at Neo's War Factory. It's funny because Matthew's sole job right now is managing a single construction dozer and a laser tank. Some of the Humvees in from the south, coming in the backside to take out Neo's prodigious black market. And it looks like Neo was able to drop a toxic bomb on top of those tanks and take them out and stop the pain that was hurting his base. Matthew still with the one laser tank, still alive. One reactor, one tank. Scottagorn continues to build Humvees like crazy, continues to pump them out, and is going after all those stinger sites. And looks like Pcap was also able to get his particle cannon off and go after that Sudstorm. Scottagorn going after all of the black marks of Neo and making short work of the defenses of the Scottagorn. Oh, and here comes Skippy with the Aurora to make a serious hurt into a couple of the Humvees that Scottagorn got killed. Scottagorn also coming in from the north with a significant force to go after those stinger sites, and he looks like he's also building a large force off on the side. Scottagorn's got 11, 12, 13 supply drop centers, which are just pumping out money. Pcap with 2, 4, 6, 8. Not quite as many, but enough for continuing to supply his numerous Auroras and a land attack. And Scottagorn is just coming in from the north. This is not looking good for Team 1. Skippy making some Ranger and Missile Defender drops to help out, but they're immediately eliminated by the Humvees. And there goes Neo's Death. Pcap also bringing in his T-130 gunship to go after Neo's pallets. We'll see if he'll be able to finish that off. Not quite, but the rest of his forces should be able to come in. Multiple Humvees, multiple Tomahawk missiles. It's just not even fair. And it looks like Neo built a tunnel network inside of his own base. Not quite sure what the point of that was. Here come the Aurora bombers, continuing to pick away one at a time on Neo's base. This is crazy to me. They still haven't taken Matthew's reactor. Oh, they're starting, here we go. Oh, and just before that, Matthew was able to build another reactor. He is still in this, folks. Still got his drone, and now he's got a veteran tank. Or an elite tank. Scottagorn with his Humvees. Wouldn't this be crazy if Matthew were the last one standing with that single reactor power plant in the far corner? It's possible, but you never know. This is, again, not looking good for Team 1. Pcap and Scottagorn just have crazy forces. Look at this mini-map. Look at this forces. Like, it's just sickening. It's gonna be a bloodbath. Looks like Scottagorn's going up to the north, whereas Pcap is starting to make his way to the south, going after the Flash Market and multiple angry mobs that are down there. Pcap with looks like the last of his land attack force going after. And it also seems that we have Scottagorn with his particle cannon going after the defenses of Skippy. Pcap continuing to use those auroras with devastating effect. Distance on that one. Skippy coming in with a fuel bomb. Oh, he's going to kill all of Neo's forces as well, but that's a good defense against the last of that wave of Scottagorn forces. Looks like Neo is also trying to distract with the tunnel network off on the side, but that's got to be at least 30 Humvees that are just rolling in from the side. There is nothing to prevent them from coming in. A single rocket buggy, immediately eliminated. A single marauder tank, this will be gone momentarily as well. Neo coming in with the Gatling cannon, while Pcap is assisting with his auroras. So many Humvees making severe damage into both Neo and Skippy's base. All three of the Team 1 are now in the bottom left-hand corner. And here we come, Neo dropping a toxin bomb on top of all those Humvees. Oh, that's gotta hurt. Oh, there's so much death and destruction. It's a bloodbath, folks. It's crazy. Every single one of them, no matter how elite, just gone. All their pilots immediately destroyed. Half the attack force coming into Neo and Skippy's base is just gone. Now we've just got Pcap with the Paladin tank coming in from the south. Also with a line of Paladins coming in to the north, and Scottagorn pretty much just left right now with his tomahawks on easy tap. The Scottagorn is also coming in from the north, coming in for a small incursion. And oh my gosh, Matthew with his laser tank still alive. That is amazing. Continues to surround himself with the defenses of both Neo and Skippy, and somehow that elite tank is still alive, folks. Holy cow. Pcap, more bombing from the Auroras, continuing to make progress across Skippy and Neo's base. Paladins continuing to make their advance. There's just no chance, folks. It's just a matter of time. That crazy laser tank continuing to make inroads. And looks like the two attack forces from Pcap are coming in with to combine their forces into just one, where the Auroras are also continuing to make progress. Scottagorn with his A-10s coming in from the top as well as his Humvees. But Pcap, multiple Paladins with significant hit points are making a lot of damage into Skippy's base now. Looks like Neo's got 1, 2, 3, 4 buildings left. And that laser tank decided to make his way back on up, but avoiding the elite Humvees for now. All the Paladin tanks are making severe inroads into Skippy and Neo's base. This is not going to take long. It's actually possible that that laser tank isn't going to get destroyed. Like, they may take out his power plant before that laser tank gets destroyed. And he's making some last-ditch efforts against the Humvees. Yes, he is going to finish off those Humvees, but we'll see what happens to his last tank. Oh, there's the reactor. And there goes Matthew. His final laser tank finally destroyed. There goes Neo's pallets. This will be Neo's last building. Scottagorn and Pcap taking short work things. Pcap with a little bit of a force coming in from the north. And we also have some particle uplink cannons that are ready. And Neo has surrendered. And there's the final particle cannon. And the final phase that was transferred to Skippy for Neo. And that is it.
You are victorious.
Pcap, Scottagorn, and Jack, Team 2, take the win. And look at these statistics. Scottagorn and Neo just neck and neck for the number of resources. Pcap coming in second with 275, and then Skippy also doing decent on his resources, but half as much as the leaders. Matthew, those two supply centers that weren't able to get all the Chinooks out while he was focusing on his front border really hurt the resources he was able to collect, and the number of units represents that. Scottagorn, all those Humvees, not surprising that he had 244 units that were created. Neo with GLA also had a similarly high number, but not quite as many. He was pumping out lots of Gatling tanks, Marauder tanks, and plenty of workers in order to build those defenses. But the damages on Team 1 side just atrocious. Anyways, that's been a great game. Thanks all for listening.